been working at Two Palms for maybe 3 years. When I started here, the first artist that I was working primarily with was Richard Prince. We were doing a huge project with him. It had a lot to do with appropriation and taking old pornography, old book covers, and collaging them together and doing a suite of prints. And I never really thought about appropriating work as art for myself, but I thought it was really interesting, this sort of combination of images to make something new. I think in our culture, it's sort of unavoidable. You know, you're always borrowing from other places, advertising, movies, video games. It's all like, we grew up with it, and it's sort of it's such a consumer culture, you know. Often I really wish that I could speak another language. I'd like to know even more about art history. I'd like to have the means to travel more. Music, I think, is a really important part of my future in making work. And I think that as I sort of expand and start working a little bit more with video and photography and hopefully someday making movies, I think music is going to be really important. And I'd love to learn how to mix music and make electronic music. It would be really awesome. So that's a good one. That's tough. I don't know. Something that people use a lot. A pair of glasses would be pretty great. That's what I'd probably come back as. A pair of glasses. Yeah, people seem to be very curious about artists. They ask a lot of questions. And I feel like I have permission to do whatever I want, and I don't have to apologize for acting certain ways or I feel like I have permission to like live life in a more like exciting, creative way, for sure. I try to be peaceful and simple, and I think in certain ways I am, but I'm also extremely hard. I'm constantly thinking and trying really hard at certain things. So I started doing these collages, and I thought I'm gonna make a whole show out of these superheroes that I've been working with, and obviously I must be connected to them in some way personally, because I keep returning to them, and so I made maybe 30 of these collages, and they vary in size and color, and for instance, like some of them are the final product is one figure, and some of them it's two figures standing side by side. So you can see like this image here was the first collage I did in 2007. It's probably like 5 different superheroes combined, and I kept this on my studio wall for months, and everyone seemed to really like it, and I liked it too, but I had no idea where I was going with any of it. It's been really interesting because I think people react to these things the same way they react to pop art. At least, the mainstream, or like most people who have some kind of interest in comic book heroes, they, like a very common thing for people to say at first is, well, do you have one using this character, or do you have one using Spider-Man, or oh, I love the Wonder Woman one, and they sort of connect with the characters. I was very careful to avoid that in making them. I didn't want it to be about famous superhero characters. I wanted it to be about this sort of generalized, question of good and evil and human and monster and male and female. I mean, obviously, like, we're making art in a digital age now, where you can do these things digitally, and I love the computer as a tool. I think it's an amazing tool. But for me, it was very important to have the actual comic book page collage together, rather than scanning these things and doing it digitally, or scanning them and blowing them up on a large scale. So, because everyone said, oh, if you blow them up huge, you'll be able to see the halftone pattern, the dot pattern, and that might be cool. But for me, the actual material itself was very important for display. And people look at them very closely because they want to see how it was constructed, and it's a very painstaking process, but it's very meditative for me because I get to slowly see this image emerge, you know, and usually you have no idea how it's going to look even till it's completely finished, and months after making these things, I'm still seeing them in a different way. I think I drop my mouth a lot like this. Blue. That's actually one of my favorite colors. Look, it's the same. It's very similar to what I have in my sketchbook. Do you even know how to say that word? No. It's a pretty awesome word though, and it looks very science fiction-y. Do you want me to guess what the word means? It's a natural transsexual from the future. I like to feel other skin on my skin. I mean that in the most perverse way possible. I feel like that's not even an embarrassing thing to admit. I feel like other naked skin on your skin feels like the most amazing thing in the world.
What song is that?
West is dead and it's burning. The rest already burning. I knew you were leaving.